Okay folks, good afternoon. How are we all doing? All good? So I'm going to talk to you about marketing with Facebook this afternoon. I'm going to give you a little bit of basic intro to Facebook marketing and then talk specifically about strategies for mining leads from Facebook. First of all, just a little introduction to me and who I am and where I'm from. I've basically been an internet marketer for the last 10 years. Used to work in corporate land for BT in the customer relationship management system side of things, but escaped just over 10 years ago, set up my first online business. That did very well, and since then I've done 5 separate £1 million businesses personally. One of those businesses is a training company. Because of my success actually out there in the internet marketing myself, I set up a training company to teach other business owners and entrepreneurs how to market themselves online. And that business is called Internet Business School, so that's where what I'm doing here today. We have a whole range of training courses, and we're also an accredited training body, so we actually give out authorised diplomas. And we're accredited by CPD, etc. So that's just who the hell I am and what I'm doing here. So in this presentation, what I'm going to talk about is, firstly, to understand why every business owner should be using Facebook as part of their marketing. Then we're talking about what kind of things do people do on Facebook, and how can you take advantage of that, because there's a different kind of marketing to traditional marketing. And then we're going to get into the meat of the presentation, which is really about mining leads. It's a kind of medium to advanced strategy. We're using software to do this, but I'm hoping you're going to find it quite interesting and exciting what's possible. And then we're going to talk about targeting those leads that you identified and how you can actually use leads from Facebook in any kind of business to make lots of money. So that is the plan. So quick show of hands, who here is using Facebook for business marketing already? Okay, most of you, that's good. So the first bit I can go through really, really quickly. So you'll appreciate why Facebook is really important. Over 1 billion people on there, people spend a lot of time on there. And basically the great thing that I love about it is it's free, so we're getting lots of customers into our businesses for no real out cost other than buying a couple of little software tools that don't cost very much money at all, a little bit of time for me, or more often for my outsourcers that actually do this stuff for me. Various metrics that are quoted out there, but you know, a Facebook like has been said to be worth between $5 and $100 depending on the business you're in. So if you can start using Facebook to get leads and to get likes, there's a monetary value in that, and an often quoted statement as well is your business will exist in 5 years if you're doing Facebook marketing. Most of you guys seem to be doing this already, so that's good. So does everybody understand the difference between a Facebook account and a Facebook business page? Anybody not know the difference? Are you all good with that? Fantastic, you're a smart crowd. So if there was anyone a bit shy to put your hand up, basically a page is what you have for a business. You can have it for an organisation, for a brand, for a product. Very different to your personal account, which is just for you, exchanging drunken pictures with your friends and embarrassing each other. So I'll rattle through this first bit really quickly, because what you really want to know about is the lead targeting bit. What I do want you to think about though is for your business, what kind of people are you trying to reach, and how do they identify themselves on Facebook? So is there any kind of groups they might be a member of which makes them stand out as a target customer for you? Or is there any demographic data that your typical customer looks like? So do you know what your typical customer is? Do you know their age? Do you know their sex? Do you know what sort of job they've got? What kind of area they're in geographically? Because if you don't know all that stuff, it's going to make the other bit really hard. So if you think about profiling your customers, I'm going to show you a really cool tool for profiling customers and just getting some idea of demographic data for customers if you don't know it already. Who here already has a really good idea of their perfect customer? You know your demographic. Anybody? A few of you. Okay, not very good. So, I mean, very many different ways you can do that. One way is you can actually start capturing more data from your customers. So rather than just getting their name and their address, try and get a bit more profile information from them. So start asking them about, hobbies and interests, and maybe you can do it elegantly rather than just them thinking this has got nothing to do with business, but you can have a competition about the lifestyle and interests of your customers, and say that you want the lifestyle data to choose a prize that's appropriate to your customers. Or there's going to be a holiday, but what sort of holiday would they like? There are very clever ways you can use to get that insight. What sort of information would your customers be interested to know about, and what would they pay for? And where are they from? Are they London? Are they all around the world? Are they all around the UK? One of my businesses, we actually found accidentally that we had a lot of customers from Poland just by looking at web stats. And it opened up a whole new market for us. We made a load of money from selling in Poland just because on our traffic stats for our web hosting, we saw that we had more than average visitors coming from Poland. So it's really important to know all this kind of stuff about your customers. Another really good tip is look at your competitors. the fastest way to find out what works is generally whatever market you go into, there's someone else already in that market. And very often there might be bigger fish in the same pond as you, and they might have a bigger marketing budget, and they've probably already spent some money finding out what works and what doesn't. So what I do is I emulate my competition. Whatever market I go into, I see what they're doing and copy it, basically. And just make sure that they're doing the right thing, because if you copy someone who's not doing the right thing, you're just copying a failure. But you know who your competitors are, and if they're bigger and stronger than you, they're probably doing better than you. So look at how they're using social media for their marketing and start trying to do some of the same. Okay, so I'll run through this really quickly. This is just when you go to create a business page in Facebook, you need to choose the type of page, but most of you have done this already. Little talk about imagery. The two main images you're going to pick for your Facebook page are your header graphic and a smaller one, which is the one that's going to appear every time you make posts online. So try and make these interesting. Facebook is very much a picture-based medium. It's very visual, so make sure that you're using images that people are going to be interested in and quirky. And this is one of our clients, which is the farm where they feel the Darling Buds of May in Kent, which is recently turned into a holiday destination. Okay, in the About section, you can actually put your business website address in as well, and an awful lot of businesses don't actually put their website address in there. So make sure that you include your website address in your Facebook page profile, because that's another link which will help your SEO, but it means everyone who comes to your Facebook page is just one click away from getting to your business. Now, let's talk about posting. Facebook's changed recently. There are lots of different things you can post. You can actually post offers and events on there now. And let's just talk for a moment about the kind of things that people like to see. So post things of value. What could you post related to your business which could be valuable? It could be new insight into technologies and things in your market. It could be case studies of your successful customers, what they've done. Always think before deciding to pin a post. If you're not familiar with pinning a post, one of the features of your own Facebook page is that you can make one of your posts stay at the top of that list, which is called pinning a post. So even if you've made more recent posts, you can have a historic post being at the top. But posts don't have a very long life cycle, generally 3 to 4 hours, which is another good reason why it's a really bad idea to post on Facebook late at night, because your window of opportunity is gone. If you're posting something at midnight, your 3 to 4 hour lifespan for that post is gone by the next morning. So make your post in peak time when you're on Facebook. Questions are great. Actually getting engagement. Ask your audience, what do they think about this new product design you've got? What do they think about what will be the key features of something that you're maybe considering for the future? What's their biggest gripes? What's their biggest needs? Don't post like crazy, because people get fed up, but use it sparingly. I tend to post for most of my business pages once or twice a day. We found that's a really good level of posting for most businesses. Try experimenting for different kinds of posts and see what your audience like. The website I just showed you, which is for a holiday destination, amongst the best posts, the most liked posts for that are pictures of fluffy baby ducks. Okay, so like it's a farm holiday destination, and they post pictures about what's going on at the farm. But whenever there's baby animal pictures, they're all the ones that get all the likes and all the shares. So one of the things that Facebook does is it looks at how much people like your posts to decide whether it's going to put your posts in the newsfeed in the future. So obviously we all like lots of pages, which means potentially we could subscribe and start getting information from any page that we've liked in the past or anyone we're a friend of. But Facebook's got to be selective about what it puts into our newsfeed and which things it shows us. And one of the key things it does to look at that is looks at what we've liked before, and if we've liked a lot of posts from a certain person, we'll start seeing their updates more regularly. And I'm sure you've all experienced this. You probably see that there's a few people that you tend to like their posts, and they're the ones that you keep seeing on your newsfeed. So experiment a bit in your business, because it's different in every business as to what kind of posts go down well. Adjust your posting to the audience and give stuff away. We do a lot of freebie giveaway competitions, free products, digital products. There's no physical out cost for us, but giving stuff away by making posts on Facebook is a good thing to encourage people to like your pages. Let's just talk about the kind of things that people share on social media, because they generally fall into these categories. It's very different to traditional marketing. I'm sure you guys have all shared many of these kind of things that you've seen on social media. There's the funny things. There was one doing the rounds last week, which was quite entertaining. Was somebody doing something not very polite to somebody's sports car. They had like a Lamborghini, and somebody was having a wee up against the side of this guy's Lamborghini. It was out in America. This guy comes running out an office block with a taser, where he starts confronting this guy, and the guy says, "Oh, well, yeah, whatever," and he just pulls out a taser and shoots him, and then the guy's writhing on the ground in agony. And this got like 3 million shares in 24 hours, so it's absolutely huge. So funny stuff is good, geeky stuff, life hacks. You've probably seen some of those posts going around. Controversial things. There's a lot of stuff right now about Bob Geldof and Adele that's being shared a lot, about different opinions as was Adele being rude, not taking part in Band Aid or whatever. Cute stuff, that's the fluffy ducks from the farm I just mentioned. Shocking stuff, anything that's a bit grisly gets shared a lot. Sexy things, obviously I post my picture daily and that gets a lot of shares. That's my sense of humour. Unbelievable things. There was the lorry that did the U-turn on the motorway the other day. Exclusive things that you can't get anywhere else, and just random weird stuff. So think about how you can relate any of those to your business, okay? Because if you're a business and you want to leverage Facebook, you need to think about how you can think a little bit alternatively, a little bit outside the box. Just putting a press release out about your new product isn't really going to cut it in this social media land. So think about how you can use this sort of stuff to promote your business. And there are lots of examples of this. A really great thing to do, if you haven't seen it before, is when you're finished here, go to YouTube and type in "Will It Blend?" And there is a blender company in America that has been a phenomenal success by promoting blenders through social media, particularly through YouTube. And they're just dropping everyday electrical devices into blenders like iPhones and iPads, and they're blending iPhones. The video's hilarious, and because it's really funny, they've sold a boatload more blenders. They become the number 3 blender company in America now. Okay, so once you've got people on Facebook, and we are going to talk about getting leads in a second, but how do you drive people to buy stuff from Facebook? Lots and lots of different ways. You can create a group of people that might be interested in your particular product or service, and then just make a post to steer them across to some website which actually sells a product or service. And a couple of examples of that here from some of our students at Internet Business School. This is someone that, now this isn't actually their dating site. This is somebody who's just an affiliate of a dating website, and they create groups on Facebook for single people, and then use those groups to send traffic over to dating websites. And dating websites pay you a commission of anything up to $40 just for getting an inquiry onto a dating website. Another example here of a student of mine that's driving traffic to Amazon's affiliate scheme and getting paid by Amazon from promoting products on Facebook. We're just doing it elegantly. So don't say, buy this stuff, buy this, buy this. But what they do is they create a community around a subject and then say something like, I just bought one of these, what do you think? It's really cool, isn't it? And then just post a link to Amazon, which is actually their affiliate link. They've used a shortening service. And people start talking and sharing about that and say, oh, wow, yeah, that's really cool. Where do I get one from? And they start tagging their friends and saying, oh, you should so get one of these for your house, John, and that sort of stuff. And it's really amazing how viral that kind of stuff can grow. This is just the process for creating a page. I'm going to scoot through that really quickly because you've all done this stuff. Okay, so let's talk about pay-per-click adverts, because the strategy I'm going to talk to you about today is basically how do you find communities on Facebook and then engage with those communities and drive them to your own business to buy product from you. And one of the things that we use is Facebook's paid advertising platform to actually target adverts at specific people. Now, with Facebook's advertising, you can create pay-per-click ads much like Google AdWords. Quick show of hands, who's used Facebook paid advertising before? Okay, about half of you, cool. So if you haven't used it before, basically it's as simple as you choose a picture, you write a title of your ad, a couple of lines description, and you decide where you want that ad to go. So do you want that advert just to be promoting your Facebook page, or do you want to send people off Facebook to your actual website? But one of the cute things about Facebook compared with other traditional pay-per-click medium like Google AdWords is because Facebook has got all this demographic data, you can laser target your marketing. So when you do advertising on Google on AdWords, you generally just say, if anybody searches for a keyword phrase containing these words, show my ad. Or you can be geographically specific and say, if somebody searches for these words in this area, show my ad. But of course, Facebook knows your date of birth, so it knows how old you are, it knows your marital status, it knows what bands you like, it knows what fashion brands you like, knows what you like to drink, knows everything about you. So you can target stuff a lot more carefully. So the basic demographics here, you do the geographic stuff, so you can target by country, and down to city, but you can also do age. So again, you can start ruling out sectors, because if you've got a product that you know children don't buy, stop showing your ad to children, just show it to the target audience. You can also be cute and change the imagery of your marketing message based on the consumer. So for example, say you sell a Keep Fit product and you want to sell that product to anybody between ages 18 and 80. What you can do is you can run an advert aimed at women between 18 and 25 and have a picture of a woman aged between 18 and 25 in that advert. Then you can run another advert aimed at women between 26 and 40 with a slightly older woman in the advert. And what you're doing is you're using images that are going to resonate with your target audience. And of course you can create an advert targeted at women between 70 and 80 and have a really old lady in a lycra working out or whatever. And then the older person seeing that ad is going to resonate with them and much more likely to react. In traditional advertising, that was much harder to do. You generally just have an image for your advert and you stick it on a motorway billboard and everyone's seeing the same image. But this is really powerful that you can target the image to your audience. Let's look at some other things you can target though. You can target people's relationship status. And depending on the products you sell, this can be really powerful. So some products are much more likely to be sold to people that are married, some more likely to be sold to people that are single, and some with an engaged status. So one of my clients is actually a wedding planner. So they use this to target people that are engaged. Their perfect target audience is engaged people, and they can laser target them with Facebook just by running ads just targeted at people that are engaged. You can also target the educational level of your audience. So you can target what educational level they've got, whether they went to university, they're school leavers, and you can be really specific. You can even target industry down to specific employers. So one of my other clients is a careers training business, and they keep their eye out for whenever companies are announcing redundancy schemes, and they then run adverts targeted at employees of that company, because they know a load of those companies' employees are now thinking, I'm under fear of redundancy, I need to find a new job, and up pops adverts for these new career guides saying get your dream job as a policeman, airline pilot, nurse, etc. So when you start looking into this, there are many different ways you can target, and this is really, really powerful stuff. You can target family status, so you can actually target, is this a parent, not just is this a parent, but is this a parent of a child aged between 4 and 12 years old, or 13 to 15. So if you've got a product which is aimed at that demographic, you can laser target that as well. You can also target people based on their activity, and Facebook gets all this data from all the things that people like. So it gets a really good picture based on, you've liked pages, I'm sure, on Facebook, but also it gets inferred data from people that are peers of you and stuff that they like, because they kind of think, well, you're his friend and he likes this stuff, so there's more of a chance that you'd like that than a random person off the street. So it's really, really powerful. So you can target people, for example, that like playing console games. You can drill down by device brand and say, I'm interested only in targeting people that are Android users, or even more specific, a manufacturer within Android, so HTC Android mobile users. So really, really powerful targeting.